Hey Rangers, welcome back to another video, and today we have the Gold Zeo Ranger, but this is the Trey version. Now, when I first heard about all this news about this particular Ranger coming out again, I was just annoyed because I genuinely thought, dear God, they're just releasing Jason again, but this time they have completely changed it around, and this one is all about Trey, which I'm kind of happy about. Fair dues, fair play to Hasbro for this, but it's just a way to get rid of all those extra bodies that they didn't need for the Jason San Diego Comic Con back. Let's have a look. So first of all, we have the lovely packaging here. We've got Gold Ranger, and then we've got Trey's head, we've got the Golden Power Staff, the effect, and as well as the hands. We've got him there, on the back there as well as there too. At the top is just there, and that's that. So if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Let's just jump straight into it. Let's do it. Here is the figure itself. I didn't realize that it's multiple colors gold. You got darker gold here, and then you've got kind of a lighter gold. Now you get a different Zeo staff, which is good. You get the two hands, you get the Trey's head, and then you also get the lightning effect. I was having a look at both this figure and the Comic Con one, and I noticed that they've actually spent a bit more time on this figure. So I think in my previous review, when I actually had a look at it, I said that the gold around his visor was kind of faded, and this one looks more like the one where he actually morphs, and it feels more like the Sentai version than it does the Power Ranger one, which I'm absolutely okay with that one, because Gold Ranger is my all-time favorite Ranger. For this one, I'm not going to go into too much detail for the figure because we've already reviewed it, but I will kind of touch base on a bit more. So first of all, I really love this golden kind of black design around here. That is absolutely spot on, and I think that when I briefly look at the Comic Con one, it's slightly different, but not by much. When we look down at the kind of one here, it's kind of a lighter gold, but it kind of blends in so well. And even when you've got the kind of armbands, that works really, really well too. And I've got to admit, from just looking at this one, I think I prefer this one than the San Diego Comic Con one. Coming down here, this is where I mentioned before that this here is a different gold than normal, but it looks absolutely fine. I like it a lot. I also really like the gold. I really like the belt buckle on this. It kind of really works in with the figure, and then you can see like all around there's so much kind of like, how do I say, like again, like the crinkles at the way that the spandex would have been, that I kind of really like too. The bottom part, the gold around here could have been a little bit better. Maybe this could have matched that color because it does kind of stand out a little bit too much. You can notice the difference, and I don't really like the knee pads because it feels like they're faded a lot. The back of the figure is very basic. You've got some lines here and here, and then you've also got the kind of joints there, and then the gold around there is exactly the same. There's not really much you can turn around and say at the back of the figure. Looking at the back here, it's a very plain, nothing's going on there. The bands have got a bit of kind of detail, which I like, and then you've also got a bit of paint kind of splatter, little bits just over here as well as there. Not really too much to complain about, but it doesn't really bring anything new to the figure. It just kind of, it's a bit annoying, especially when I look just here by the black part. It just doesn't look that great. So I don't know what they didn't do there, but I'm not overly complaining about it. I am just pointing it out. Then when we look back here, we see that there is some slight kind of like detail, which I'm glad that they didn't kind of lose. Now that the shield here is actually kind of flexible, it's not a hard one, which is great. So just giving you a heads up on that one too. So let's look at the stress test for this one. The feet first. Again, it's always hit and miss with these figures. Like, you have to really put some sort of really like force behind it, but like the legs will either be a hit and miss as well. Again, why? That one is a bit kind of stiff. I'm just hoping that over time these just relax a bit. Up and down, up and down. Does the same. Arms move about, hands move about, hands move about like so. And you kind of do that. Bit of kind of stress there, but it does work quite well. Articulation is fine. I also really like, I didn't mention before, but just on his collar, there is some detail there. That's kind of cool. So yeah, that's not too bad. With the helmet, we're gonna take it off. I do want to mention, in case I forget, I love the kind of 3D-ness of the color and the black, like the gold and the black works really, really well. I do love the helmet of the Gold Zeo Ranger the most. It's awesome. So then, now this one was kind of really weird because rather than clicking, it just cemented down. So you had to really kind of push it. You're just turning it around just to be on the safe side. But it's a bit too hard, but again, the Trey head's not going to be staying on. But looking at Trey, I really like his kind of scar down there. The hair kind of reminds me a lot of Noah, but the face is fine. The ears are absolutely fine. Like the face in general is okay. They have captured his look on this one. I think that's actually a really good thing, considering how old like the footage must have been for them to actually take photos and actually use it. But it does kind of really kind of like go well. Like that could be literally just be a thumbnail where he's just thinking, going, I just want to pass my powers on to someone who can use them. But just like looking at that, I really like that sort of screenshot. I think that's kind of cool. So the head does kind of give it a little bit more life. Let's look at the accessories. Hopefully that's in shot. This is a different one rather than the San Diego Comic-Con. So the San Diego Comic-Con had this down here and that closed, where this one is a whole different one. So I'm glad that we've got a different Zeo staff. Although I would have been much okay with the same one opened and closed. So if you haven't got the San Diego Comic-Con one, I would hopefully pick it up because you will need it if you want to pose it correctly. But for what this is, I really just like the way it looks like. So I love the fact that it's got opened up. So I wish these were a little bit red. That'd be kind of cool. And it's on both sides. I really wish that they could make one that goes up and down. Then obviously we have the lightning effect, which would just go on. Either you just place it in like that. I'm not even going to put it on. I'm not a big fan. And then the only other two things you get are the hands, and that is it. And there we go. There is Trey, the Gold Ranger. Now, this figure is really nice. I like it a lot. I generally think that it is a nicer one compared to the San Diego Comic-Con one. It feels like this one's been painted properly, that this wasn't rushed out. I kind of wish though this came out much later on, because I feel that when Hasbro do something like this, they'll bring out the next one. So we'll see another Green Ranger in the next wave, or the wave after that, or whenever, after we've just had the putty pack. We have the putties, like the 2-pack coming out after we had the Green Ranger and putty pack. It feels like these aren't being done properly and they're just being released willy-nilly, and it's not the best thing. Am I glad there's 2 Gold Rangers? Yes. Am I glad that they did the Trey version rather than just the standard, just have another Jason, because that's what I generally thought. And I am really glad that they decided to do Trey. I think that's a really nice one. And it's maybe his first figure, maybe it's his second one, depending on what came out originally back in the past. But I really do like this. This is one of my favorite figures. It looks really cool, and he will be on display at some point very soon. But yeah, I highly recommend getting this one if you're trying to find him, or you weren't able to get the Jason and the Red Ranger pack, the Gold and Red Ranger pack from San Diego, then this is definitely for you. So yeah, I would highly recommend getting him. And yeah, I am going to leave it there. So Rangers, what are your thoughts? Do you like this sort of figure? Did you want to pick him up? Did you not like him? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as the cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.